Hey, on this section for the option on the poor and vulnerable, I'm going to ask you to do a couple things here. The first thing I'm going to have you do is just watch like a minute clip of Pope Francis speaking on kind of about the poor, and it's translated with subtitles on the bottom, so you can kind of read along what he's saying. And then I want you to read a scripture passage from Matthew, okay? And then after that, there's a picture that I want you to kind of look at and answer some questions based off of. And then below that is a couple links of different things that you can do to volunteer to help the poor in our community. And what is so important is we're so grateful here to be blessed with food every day and shelter every day. And so when you look at the Pope Francis homily at the end, he says, how often do we think about the line in the Our Father that says, give us this day our daily bread? That's not something we even have to think about, right? Like, we're given our daily bread every day, and we don't have to think about where it's coming from. But there's a lot of people, when they pray the Our Father, that line means a lot. Like, where's my daily bread going to come from today? I don't know. And so when we talk about this option for the poor and vulnerable, this means that we as a society have to always be thinking about the vulnerable, about the people that don't have as much as we do. What's so important here is that with this option, Pope Francis kind of says in his homily too, he says, we don't often think about the poor in this abstract sense. We're just like, oh, they're there. But when we encounter them one-on-one, we start to realize, yeah, wow, these people really do need our help. Another way to think about it too is maybe as, let's think if there was a parent, right? If there was a parent that had two kids, okay, and one kid is fine, like completely healthy, nothing wrong, just normal kid with normal kind of kid problems, right? But then there's another kid in the family that's going through a lot of sicknesses, that's just in and out of the hospital, all these different things. Okay, the parent does not love either of these kids less than the other, right? The same way God doesn't love us any less than anybody else in the world, right? But the parent is going to have to show a lot of attention to this kid, right? The parent's going to have to show a lot of attention and give a lot to this kid that is sick, maybe more so than the other kid, right? Does this mean the love is any less? No. This just means that we have a God that really is looking out for people that are hurting, right? And so when we're hurting with our own problems and our own issues and everything, God is there for us in every moment of our lives, right? But we must remember He's especially there for the poor, because the poor need Him so much, right? And so this is a good way of thinking about this in our own life too. Like, how can we be Christ to other people? How can we be Christ to other people? Because Christ is there. Christ is with the poor. How can we be Christ to the poor too? So, what are you going to do again? You're going to watch a short homily. You're going to read a scripture passage. You're going to look at a picture and kind of answer some questions on that picture and the homily and in the scripture passage. And then there's a couple sites that you can click. And there are different things that you can do in the community to help in the poor, help out the poor and homeless. And just explore these sites. Explore and look at, one of them is Metropolitan Ministries. The other is Trinity Cafe. Both of these places provide hot meals for the poor every day. And Metropolitan Ministry provides housings for the poor too. And another suggestion too is if some of these things, these volunteer opportunities sound kind of a lot, something that I've started doing, sometimes like when people are on the side of the streets and I'm driving on my way to work and I see someone kind of come by my window and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should give them money or not. And like, the typical question that a lot of times we face. What I've started to do is keep a bag of kind of simple things, of like granola bars and water bottles and maybe blankets, pairs of socks, stuff like that. And I can kind of hand them that bag as they walk by, and I put a little prayer card in it for them too. So to say, hey, I'm praying for you. And I do intentionally after that want to pray for that person, right? Pray for that person that we encounter. So maybe if you struggle with that sometimes when you're driving and you're like, I don't know what to do, maybe keep little baggies in your car of some granola bars and blankets and stuff like that that you can give and you can offer these people that are struggling on the side of the road that we see every day. Yeah, so those are some kind of options to think about and then answer some questions. Sorry this video is a little bit longer, but I wanted to kind of explain this one before you kind of go into everything else. Okay? Good luck, guys.